After everything that I've seen this season, I just think they should just blow it up. Just blow up the team. Aside from your set outfield of Juan Soto, AJ Ewing, and Carson Bench from left to right, I just think you should start getting rid of some guys. I don't even really care at this point if you get rid of Francisco Lindor. I don't really care if you get rid of Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty. Do it, whatever. Because you know what? Paying all this money is not doing it. They look like crap. They're not going anywhere this year. What are you going to do? Turn around and get another high position player? The only guy that I would pay a boatload of money to is Tarek Skubal because he looks like an absolute dog. That's really the only guy that I would put my money where my mouth is. But anybody else, no shot. I think it's just time to build your farm system, trade almost everybody at the trade deadline, get what you can get for them, blow it the fuck up. If I'm miraculously, shockingly wrong, and they all of a sudden, I don't know, like the episode from SpongeBob SquarePants where the plug gets plugged in on Patrick Starr's brain and all of a sudden he could do like the Pythagorean theorem. If that all of a sudden can just get figured out and that happens, okay, great. Keep people, I guess. And don't call up anyone. But I don't see that happening. So let's just blow it up and start trading guys. You remember? Like they plugged it back in the episode and all of a sudden Patrick Starr looked like a fucking genius. I mean, that's kind of where I'm seeing the Mets right now. Right now, I look at David Stearns like Patrick Starr. Someone's got to plug him back in so that he starts churning in his head and the cobwebs go away and he starts to figure it out. Mets lost 15-3 on Saturday. I saw the score. It was 3-0 with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. Do you really think I'm going to continue to watch that game? Somebody asked me recently, Dom, they said, have you been watching the Mets? I said, have I been playing with traffic on the Cross Island? Tell me, what's the answer? Go ahead, answer it. I'll give you the answer. It's a no. So, no, I haven't been watching the Mets because I actually like to be happy in my life. So I'm going to go watch the Knicks win the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Agulik. Alongside my co-host, Tom Savino, we will be discussing the week that was. The Knicks celebrations have finally come to an end as the parade in NYC was one for the ages. But now comes the NBA draft and the offseason decisions. Who will stay? Who will go? We give our front office predictions and also assess our baseball team's current status in a bit. But first, do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
God, this espresso's kicking. This thing is getting me right.
That's right.
Yeah.
What a weekend, huh?
Yeah. Just going to start off the top. We are going back to our regularly scheduled episodes. I mean, we're not going to be talking about the NFL. I don't know. Not today. Maybe still not for the next couple weeks, maybe until training camp starts. So NFL is not really going to be discussed today, but we will talk a bit about baseball. I don't go on a rant, but I'm kind of coming to the conclusion on stuff with the Mets, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But Dom, how was your weekend? Have you recovered from last Thursday, pal?
Friday was one of the most dreadful days at work on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Everyone, it was Juneteenth, right? And for my job, Juneteenth is one of the busiest days that we have ever seen at my job. And it was just steady. Usually it's just out of your mind crazy. But because everyone was so hungover from this Knicks game, no one pulled up to my job. And I'm not going to lie, I did not mind at all. Because I was down. I wasn't down bad. I was down horrendous. It was terrible. Absolutely awful how I felt on Friday. But obviously we'll talk about the parade in a little bit. But besides that, the weekend itself, dealing with people over the weekend, I think people were on meth. People, for some reason, I mean, this is supposed to be a celebration throughout the whole weekend. I don't know, maybe everyone was hungover or something. Everyone was so nasty and weird and stupid, and I never
Ugh.
it was such a wild weekend in every shape and form when it came to my job. But, you know what? It's all good, you know? We champs. We
Yeah.
champs.
Yeah. Nah, Thursday was great. I mean, enjoyed it thoroughly. Thursday night, I don't know, Dom. Now that thinking about it, it was a dreadful drive home from your place. I don't know how I did it, but once I got home and I stepped out of my car, all of a sudden, just everything hit me at once, and I was like, "Wow, I feel awful." I was like, "I feel like complete shit," and I thought at one point I was gonna puke. I was like, "Holy crap." I didn't feel like that when we were eating dinner, when we were on the ferry going back to Rockaway. Even really when I was driving home, I had stopped drinking for hours. I was drinking just strictly water. Me and Dom were just drinking water on the ferry. We took a nap. Maybe that was why everything kicked in because we fell asleep, but I don't know. But all of a sudden, once I got home and I laid down, I was freaking spinning. I felt like crap and it was just hitting me at once. And then honestly, woke up at midnight, felt a lot better, showered, got ready. I mean, imagine getting ready for bed at 12:30 in the morning, but that's essentially what it was. And then I felt fine waking up Friday morning. And then the weekend, I took it pretty slow, didn't really do much. Yesterday was Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the people, who do have kids at our age or, obviously our fathers and everyone else's fathers. So happy belated Father's Day to them. But Sunday, I just went out for a nice Croatian dinner. Essentially, went to a Croatian restaurant that I've gone to my whole life since I was a kid, out in Astoria. So it was great. But Thursday night it was a tough one. I was battling. I was really battling, and I hadn't felt like that, Tom, in a long, long time.
So, a little bit to the story I'm about to say. We get on the ferry, and then I see my friends who were actually going home from the city, but not for the parade because they were working.
Hmm.
And, we pull up next to them. We're talking to them for a little bit. And Chris, I don't know when, but we both knocked the fuck out on the ferry. And I don't have the picture. I gotta get it. My boy Hark, he took the picture of us. Let's say a parade didn't happen. We didn't have Knicks gear on. If we had regular clothes and people saw us on that ferry, it just looked like we took fentanyl. It looked. The picture is scary.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's one
say
of the
that
scariest
doesn't sound
pictures
that
that
doesn't
I've
sound
ever
good.
seen in my life. I
Yeah,
gotta
that
get
doesn't
this
sound
picture.
good at all. Oh
It's
god.
scary. I don't even wanna look at it again, but I feel like I should just for the memories. But it Chris, you're gonna see this picture, you're gonna be like, "Burn this immediately." Very
Oh
bad.
god.
Very bad. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna get shown on the edit, so that's gonna
No.
stay out. Thank God, no.
Well, I don't even got the picture yet, so.
Yeah, well, I don't want people seeing how I looked on any possible or potential fets, so I'm gonna keep that off the episode, but yeah, I mean, great way to, I don't know, I guess start the weekend with Juneteenth on that Friday and then going into Father's Day weekend, but now we're gonna get into some sports talk. Obviously, Dom said the parade was Thursday. As I already said last week, Knicks are NBA champs, so that's great to say once again. It's going to be great to say maybe, but hopefully this time next year if the Knicks can be the first repeating team in 8 years. The parade was great. Me and Dom had a good time. There was close to 5 million people for this parade. Not really a surprise. Knicks haven't won anything since the Civil War era, for crying out loud. Kind of joking, kind of not. Last time they won a championship was 1973. just to let people know, they weren't doing ticker tape parades back then. So this was the first one that the Knicks ever had. And so parade was great, shit ton of people. Here's my only gripe, though. It cannot be in Lower Manhattan if the Knicks or any New York sports team wins a championship again. Not an option.
Nope.
Dom said it immediately. We showed up there at 6 a.m. We're walking around. We're on Wall Street, and we're like, dude, how in the world is everyone going to get into this parade? Like, there is too many people out here. There is no way they could try to consolidate and condense people into a narrow street. I mean, if anyone's ever been to Lower Manhattan in the financial district, I mean, my brother lived there for like 2-3 years, and he also lived in the West Village, but even that is even more wide open. I mean, financial district is narrow as hell. And it is very hard to try to contain 3 to 5 million people for a New York Knicks parade for something that hasn't occurred in 53 years. And I agree totally with Dom. And Dom, I'll let you speak on this a little bit too. They need to put this next time. If the Knicks, it would be absolutely fantastic if they could repeat next season being champs. If the Knicks win again next season, please put this in Midtown, because you cannot fit this in Lower Manhattan where people are trying to go to work.
As soon as we got off the ferry and we had to like walk just a couple of blocks, because in order to get, a viewing of the parade, if you weren't standing on fucking traffic lights or whatever, or buildings, there was a ginormous line that you had to wait on to try to get into the parade. We're walking down this line 4 city blocks. That's a long fucking walk.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as soon as I saw the route to the parade, which is obviously the same as, when the Giants won, when the Yankees won, it makes sense, right? For the Yankees and the Giants. Jet fans aren't going to the Giants. Mets fans aren't going to the Yankees. Everyone's a fan of the Knicks. And I've known multiple people who flew in from other countries to be at this parade. We were with 2 of them. We were with 2 people, one from Australia and one from Puerto Rico. So, you know what? Like, I'm happy that everyone went, had an amazing time. Why not Fifth Avenue? Why not any other big fucking street? I mean, it was so fucking narrow. And Chris, I mean, this was scary. We got there at 6 a.m. I don't know, maybe this was like 6:10, 6:15 at this point. We have to walk all the way to the end of the line, which was blocks away, to try and get into the parade. I don't know, halfway through, maybe halfway until getting to the end of the line, some poor little girl, 10, 11, 12 years old, passes out.
Yeah.
Passed out right in the middle of Chris and I while we were walking. And I was like, what in the fuck? This was at 6:15 in the morning.
Dude, I didn't know what to do. We're walking, and this girl just collapses on the ground. And literally it's literally my feet, Dom's feet, space in the middle. This girl falls right there. And we look at each other, and we're like, yeah, we got to call for help. And thank God her parents, other people around were like, obviously there were cops everywhere, right? So there was a cop at every turn. So it was easy to get police, but how much can the police do? They're not the medics. They're not ambulance. So now they got to bring somebody. And me and Dom were like, it's 6:10 in the morning. What the heck are we about to get ourselves into? Like, this is going to be one hell of a day. And Dom, you honestly make a great point. And I didn't even think about that until you said it. You look around, there's no Brooklyn Nets fans. Everybody's a Knicks fan. So this is the one sports team in New York where everyone comes together. Literally everybody. And again, I agree with you, Dom. I was at the Giants 2012 parade because one of my good friends is a Giants fan, and his dad, his office was in lower Manhattan, and we would just walk out of his office building, and there was the parade right there. But here, everyone comes together for this one parade. And don't forget, just like Dom said, I even have it written in my notes here, Dom, too, tourists are coming for the summer months. So not only is it that the population has grown since the other, sports parades of the Yankees in '09, the Giants in 2012, the Giants in 2007, 2008, you're talking about 14 to even later. You're talking about 14 to 19 years ago. Yeah, the population has grown. New York City is going to do a census in 4 years. I guarantee you that number from COVID year is going to go up to 2030, right? It's going to be obviously increasing. And then you got tourists coming into New York who watch the Knicks from out of the country because a lot of people like basketball. So you just can't have it in lower Midtown Manhattan. It's just not possible. You have to put it on Fifth Avenue, somewhere in Midtown where it's not so much of a problem. People are like, well, what about the workers? What do you mean? People work in Midtown and lower Manhattan as well. What are you talking about? There's going to be workers everywhere. Don't matter where you're going. There's going to be people who have to go to work all over the place. It's New York City, for crying out loud. So they just have to move that. The next time any New York sports team, I understand it's tradition, Canyon of Heroes. Listen, have Fifth Avenue of Heroes. I don't know what to say. You got to put it somewhere else. So that's just what it is. The population has grown, and that's really the only legitimate gripe I have with the parade. Other than that, it was a fantastic sight to see. I have great videos from a couple of people that I know. One of them being like my friend's older brother. The other one is an associate that I work with at work. So I got great videos, from them. Seeing the players, seeing celebrities. So that was great. But me and Dom had a great time. We went to a bunch of different bars, moved around, and we really made the most out of the day. And Dom, we were there for essentially almost 12 hours. I
Yep.
mean, it was crazy. So. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to say, Don, about the parade, but that's really all I got to say about it.
I mean, just, you know, not everyone was able to get into the parade. I think the cops shut it down, like people going into the gated area at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
People were camping out at 2, 3 in the morning to try and get a
Earlier,
spot.
I heard 10:30 at night.
Hey, I'm not surprised. Not surprised one bit. We took the ferry to go into the city. Chris and I got there 25 minutes before the ferry even got there. There was a ginormous line
Mm-hmm.
just waiting for the ferry.
Mm-hmm.
The first ferry, mind you, which was at 5:09 a.m. So it was just absolutely ridiculous. But, seeing everyone just having such an amazing time, New York City deserved this. I mean, my favorite part actually was Stone Street. When we
Yeah.
went to Stone Street,
Yeah.
it was just one ginormous dance party.
Mm-hmm.
Random people just having ginormous boom boxes playing just like the classic New York songs, like Nas and Biggie and Jay-Z and all these amazing New York artists. And this is so clingy, but it just felt so New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool
Yeah.
seeing people jump, like being on top of scaffoldings, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I will never forget that day. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, and I'm happy it's our team.
Yeah, exactly. The two things I'll say is one, that if the Knicks win again, obviously the next parade won't be the same as the first. That's just how it is with any big event. The first one's always, it's kind of like a movie. The first one is always better than the sequel. So that's just how it's going to be. Now, I don't want New York City to see it that way and say, no, we're going to still have it for the Canyon of Heroes in lower Manhattan. No, 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 you can't. You have to move it to Midtown. This population has grown too much. So don't think like, oh, well, the second one's not going to be as big as the first, so we'll keep it there. No, 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 no. You cannot keep it there. So I just want to keep harping on that. But the biggest thing for me is, Dom, from what I heard from other people, and I didn't see anything about it in newspapers or on social media, there were no casualties or injuries. So that's
So
great to hear. I'm sure there were a video or two of maybe people, being stupid and getting thrown around or whatever, but I didn't hear anything catastrophic happen. So that is a big plus. So thank God that nobody got hurt and there were no deaths or injuries. You don't want to hear anything about that. So that was great. But that's everything regarding the parade. I think
Oh,
really I'll just keep it. What
wait, I'm
happened?
sorry. One more thing. I
Mm,
honestly, this just came across my mind right now.
mm,
For all the people that were telling me that didn't go to the parade, it looked fucking terrible. Why did you go? So many fucking people. You're gonna get hurt. Are you crazy? Shut the fuck up. Please. It was that was hurting me more than my hangover.
mm-hmm,
Hearing that shit.
mm-hmm.
Just say you're butthurt.
Yeah.
Just say that you're butthurt that you couldn't go for some reason, or that you felt like you were too cool to go, or you didn't feel safe. Grow the fuck up. We're 26. Everyone that was telling me this, you're 26 fucking years old. Grow a pair and fucking go. Or if you can't go, tough shit. Everyone has shit to do. So you know what? I was off that day. So I had no excuse.
I,
You know,
yeah, I took off.
you took
So,
off.
I
So
mean, yeah, I
no
don't know.
fucking excuses. I am not sorry that you couldn't get off or that you felt unsafe. Shut the fuck up. All right? That's it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, and I feel that, Tom, I do. Because I even had friends saying, "Oh my God, look, they're gonna check you for bags. They're gonna check you for this." Yeah, I don't want to get stabbed. Yeah, check the
Yeah,
motherfucker. Yeah,
yeah, please.
check. What do you mean? Great. That's great news to me. I don't want to get hurt. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then others were like, "Oh, it's going to be a joke. It's gonna be." Don't worry, Dom. I had friends too. I'm going to leave out. I'm not going to mention, but I had friends trying to be negative Nancy's about it as well. So I don't want to make that the storyline of the parade. There's no need for that. But I am glad you did bring that up. But everyone's going to have a few people, or maybe more than a few. I don't know. But people are going to have some people that are trying to demean it or knock it down and be negative. But it is what it is. Too bad for them, like you said. But in regarding to the City Hall ceremony, I think Jalen Brunson had a very simple but great speech, just saying when you prove people wrong, you don't have to say shit to them. I think he's 100% right. Now, I would have loved for him to just completely shat on Becky Hammond. That would have been great. For everyone saying, oh, well, look, Becky Hammond, she can't speak her mind. Well, no, everyone could speak their mind. So can Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart on their podcast, and Knicks fans. She could stand on what she says, but we could stand on what we say too. And at the end of the day, I haven't heard an apology from the bitch yet. So I'm still waiting on that. I think every Knicks fan, even Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson won't say it, but I'm sure he's waiting on it too. But I think he had a great speech. I honestly think that, listen, Mamdani, for whatever you think of him, me and Dom obviously have our views on it. We're not going to get into that. This is not a political podcast, obviously. This is a sports podcast. But I do think his speech was very good. I'm not gonna
Legendary.
lie. I think his
Legendary.
speech at yeah, I think his speech at City Hall was fantastic, in my opinion.
Out.
Yeah, it was kind of like just in a certain flow state. It was, continuous. It kept on going. And he was ready for the speech. He knew what he was going to say. I don't know why James Dolan was butthurt about it. I just thought that was ridiculous. I don't know why. He's been very negative. I mean, we're going to talk about obviously the offseason again a little bit down the line here. But the day before the parade on WFAN, he was like, "Well, we can't go into the second apron. We're going to have to, we would have to make suicidal decisions, make suicidal moves." Listen, dude, just say you're excited for the parade, and we'll discuss the offseason after the draft. I mean, I don't really know why he had to say that the day before the parade. I mean, that was like such a buzzkill and a Debbie Downer. But listen, that's James Dolan, and you know what? His reputation is what it is with the fans. And maybe we kind of saw now of why it's like that, because if that's how he's going to act before the parade, there's really no surprise. But again, I kind of digress here. Jalen Brunson had a great, simple but great speech at City Hall. But for me, Dom, getting away from the ceremony and the parade, I think the most impactful thing that happened last week that I saw was Josh Hart recognizing Cat's sacrifice for ball touches and points during this playoff run on their podcast, The Roommate Show.
Mhm.
Cat understood what it was for. and he asked JB for a trophy in return for him making all the sacrifices. And, again, all the players talked it out after going down 2-1 to Atlanta and came to the realization that Cat's game plan was the best for the team. And that's why you got to give credit once again to Mike Brown. And this is why I was happy that the Knicks hired him back in July last summer. He not only can coach his tail off, but he listens to his players and his coaching staff. And this is the big key here, as well as implementing it into his coaching style. It's one thing for me to take advice from Dom. It's another thing to take his advice and now implement it into my life. Because I can tell you 5,000 times, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I hear you. It's a great idea. But if I turn around and I don't enforce it on myself and on my lifestyle and my coaching style, then what good is the advice? I never really took it. So Mike Brown at least implemented it in. And I just think between the credit to Mike Brown and Cat appreciating what Josh Hart said live at MSG for the podcast, I thought that was the biggest takeaway for me for last week.
100%. That's what everyone was wondering this whole year. Maybe Cat was lying, or maybe he was actually telling the truth. Halfway through the season, he's like, I still don't know what role I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know. And then games 1 and 2 of round 1 looked awful. Looked not 3 games actually. Not good at all, right? And then they finally decided, you know what? It's either we really have to change our game plan, or number 2, this is how it was supposed to be, and now we're going to reveal our biggest secret. And at the end of the day, Cat sacrificed a lot, but it didn't matter because, like you said, Chris, after the first 2 games, he would have been Finals MVP if he kept playing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he did sacrifice, but at the same time, look how amazing he played throughout this playoffs. So, shout out to Cat, shout out to Jalen Brunson, shout out to Josh Hart, shout out to the whole team, because at the end of the day, everyone sacrificed something. Everybody. But Cat is obviously the more noticeable one that sacrificed a good amount of his game.
Absolutely. And you got to think that with Cat having so much respect for Jalen and the whole team just cohesively playing together, respecting each other, everyone being team players, it wouldn't surprise me if this whole roster comes back. Now, of course, it's going to be hard, and we'll talk about it. As I said before, we'll talk about it a little bit down the line here. But going back to Jalen Brunson and really the Knicks as a whole for the season, I mean, Jalen Brunson got 7 trophies this season. He got the NBA Cup, the NBA Cup MVP, the Shooting Stars winner trophy for that, ECF trophy, ECF MVP, the Larry O trophy, obviously the most coveted trophy out of all of them, and he was Finals MVP. So this guy got 7 trophies, but the Knicks and Jalen Brunson took it all this season. So we don't know if we're ever going to see something like that again in a single season. I mean, you literally won everything you could have won. And I mean, I don't even know if the Eastern Conference won the All-Star game. I don't even remember, but I mean, that neither here nor there. It doesn't even matter, but it's crazy how the Knicks literally took everything. Could they do that again next season? I think so. It's going to be hard to repeat that, but the Knicks took all of it. So now, again, we talked about the offseason that's going to be coming upon us real soon. The draft is tomorrow night. That's at 8 p.m. The Knicks starting 5 is all locked up for next season. That's not the problem. Okay, they're all signed, sealed, delivered. They're ready to go. But there are some decisions to be made this summer. And right now, we're going to give our prediction here. And Dom, of course, you're going to go first. Prediction time, where will these players go? Now, of course, you'll give the answer. And then after that, we'll talk about a lot of other things after. But Dom, I'm going to list off names, and then you're going to say stay or go. We're going to start off Mitchell Robinson.
Go.
Okay. Deuce McBride.
I'd say stay.
Okay. Jordan Clarkson.
Adios.
Jose Alvarado.
Stay.
Landry Shamet.
Stay.
Mo Diawara.
I hope he stays. I really do.
Okay, you hope, but what do you think in your heart of hearts is going to happen?
See, that's the problem because it just depends on Mitch. It
Mm,
depends on what he does, and then they'll go for Diawara.
mm,
So that is, I'd say stay because Mitch is gonna go, in my opinion.
okay. Ariel Huckporty.
Go,
Jeremy Sohan.
go.
Okay. Do you see Cat taking a haircut that is 7 to 10 million less per year?
I can just because of he talked about all year that he's from Jersey. He grew up being a fan of this team, and that's the only reason why. If he wasn't a local kid, if he was from fucking Utah or something, no way. He wouldn't do that.
Okay. So for me, with my prediction, I'm going to say Mitchell Robinson. Now, I'm going to actually go a bit backward here. I'm going to say that Cat does take the haircut, and they don't call it pay cut because it's not. And Mikal Bridges also took a haircut as well. It's going to be much less than what Cat is going to have to forfeit. So it's 7 to 10 million less per year, right? So essentially, if it's the higher number, which is obviously 10, right? That would then it'd be a 5-year. So I said 278 last week, and in the reel, it's actually 272. Regardless, it's a shit ton of money. But it's 5 years, 272. So 5 times 10. Me and Dom said the number was 50 last week without even knowing what the haircut was going to be. So we were right on point with that. So if it's 50 million, they can bring Robinson and Shamet back. So if Cat takes the haircut, I don't see why Mitchell Robinson goes unless he gets a boatload of money from somebody else, which really I
He
think would
will.
be real. I think that's real stupid for other teams to do because he's got an injury history. He still has to figure out his pinky finger, and the man can't shoot free throws, and he doesn't have a jump shot. So I just think that'd be dumb if other teams give him an exorbitant amount of dollars on a piece of paper. So I think Mitchell Robinson would stay. In my personal opinion, Dom, I do think Deuce stays for the season. I think he's traded by the trade deadline.
Especially if
That's
he's playing good.
Yes, exactly. And that'll obviously affect, we'll talk about the draft in a little bit here, but it's also other guys that are on the bench, like a Mo Diawara. Jordan Clarkson, I think we can all agree, he is dog shit. He needs to go. So here's the thing, Dom. Jose Alvarado, I was wrong last week, and I'm going to admit it when I need to. I was wrong. I said Alvarado has a club option. No, he's got a player option.
Player option.
So I was wrong last week. That changes a lot because supposedly an article came out that he's looking to opt out. And he said that, yeah, I'm looking to get paid. Now, all power to him. If you proved a lot of people wrong and you went undrafted and you showed your worth, yeah, shit, you should get paid for it. Now, I don't know how much that's going to be. I don't know what the Knicks are willing to pay him. But if Jose Alvarado does not come back, well, the thing is, this is where me and Don were saying before we aired the episode, the draft should not be tomorrow. The draft should be like the Tuesday and Wednesday after the 4th of July because it's all dependent on what you have in free agency. In the Knicks case, they actually have a fair amount of question marks. And if Jose Alvarado doesn't come back and signs elsewhere, well, then that 24th pick kind of needs to get used on a ball handling guard. Because now, okay, we have Tyler Kolek, but you still need a third guy. You can't just rely. What if JB or Kolek gets hurt? You need a third guy. So if Alvarado doesn't come back, well, then now that 24th pick and that in that selection, that changes a bit. So Alvarado is going to be interesting. I think he stays just because, just like what Dom said about Cat, Alvarado is from the area, right? He's a New York-born guy. My cousin actually works with Alvarado's dad in the plumbing industry. His dad wants his son to stay, is what my cousin told me. So we'll see what happens. Landry Shamet, I think he stays. I think the Knicks find a way to keep him. as Dom said last week, and it's in the reel, strictly just off his defense alone, he really should be looked to be brought back, and we hope he stays. Mo Diawara, I think he stays. He's got a lot of talent as a power forward. He's got great height, great length. He can shoot, which is very important for bench pieces in this league. Huck Porty, I agree with Dom. I don't think you could get anything really out of him anymore. He's been here for a while. I think he needs to go. Sohan, I think that depends a lot on what the Knicks can get in free agency and in the draft. If the Knicks go big, right? If they go front court for picks 24 and 31, yeah, what do I need Jeremy Sohan for? So in that case, okay, the draft being tomorrow actually helps for that name. But for a lot of the other names, no, the draft does not help being tomorrow instead of maybe should be right after the 4th of July. So that's where that kind of messes up the Knicks there. But I guess the league is happy with that because they want, you know, organizations to be on their toes and constantly thinking. So, Dom, that is kind of my take on all of that. Now, Mitchell Robinson, if he does go, Dom, do you have any names currently that the Knicks should look to acquire in his place, draft or no draft, if you're looking strictly at free agency?
I'm not 100% sure if he is a free agent, but he's not that great of a he's not the best defender, but when he's on, he's good on offense. Vucevic from the Celtics.
Hmm. Vucevic, I believe, is a free agent. Yes.
That's the first name that I've thought of. And well, I just want to say two things about what you said.
Go ahead.
With Alvarado, all right, let's say he wants to get paid and he's gonna sign elsewhere. All right, congratulations. What sponsorships are you gonna get? You are never going to get a sponsorship ever again. If you stay in New York next year, do you know how much money you're gonna get just off of sponsorships alone? Every single business is gonna want to partner with you.
That's a very valid point.
And you're not going to make a great amount of money with your salary if you take your player option, but just think about the bright side and even, just more marketing and more fame and just sponsorship money. So he'd be dumb to leave. And Mitch, when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I mean, he's not from New York. He's from down south. I mean, I hope that he likes New York, and I would love to have him back. But like what we said last week, in somewhat of like the same contract, just due to his lack of, offensive ability. But there's gonna be a desperate team out there that is gonna want him to start, and then they're gonna pay him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair what you said about Alvarado and sponsorship because look, he's in that commercial AT&T. He's in CeraVe. I mean, he's in a couple of commercials. I mean, CeraVe with Carmelo Anthony. I mean that's pretty big. And then AT&T, he's literally on a FaceTime call with Patrick Ewing, like he's with him when JB and Kat are FaceTiming them in the AT&T commercial. I mean, so you make a very, very good point with that. No, he's not getting that when he was with the New Orleans Pelicans, or if he goes to like the Utah Jazz, or even like the Charlotte Hornets. No, he's not getting those opportunities. So that is a very valid point. So there is a Sports Illustrated New York Knicks article. So it's New York Knicks on SI. So these are the names that they mentioned if Mitchell Robinson does not stay with the Knicks. The first one, Dom, is Marvin Bagley III. The second pick of the 2018 draft quietly had a career season this year, averaging 10.5 points and 6 rebounds across 20 minutes per game for the Wizards and Mavericks. The 27-year-old will be an unrestricted free agent, and it seems his preference is to re-sign with Dallas. He is a clutch client and will command a decent chunk, but should be less than $10 million per season. The ability to have a legitimate role for the defending champs could sway him to give New York a slight discount, given the exposure and opportunity you have to impress the larger NBA. Andre Drummond, this is a name that I was looking at last year. I'm good on it this year. I mean, Marvin Bagley is interesting. That was not a name
Yeah.
that I thought I was going to see on the article. The next one is Jock Landale, which is somewhat intriguing, but doesn't really sell me. Al Horford, I'm good. Too old.
No.
Uh, Ves Missy. I'm not gonna lie. I
Oh,
barely know
from
who
New
this is.
Orleans.
Yeah, I barely know
No,
who
he's
this is.
good. He's good.
Okay. So the emergence of rookie Derek Queen and the rise of Carlo Matkovic left Yevis Missy on the outskirts of the rotation for the Pelicans. The 22-year-old is under contract next year for a friendly number of $3.5 million with a $5.6 million team option for 2027-28. Missy, who stands 6'11" and recorded 9.1 points per game and 8.2 rebounds per game as a rookie, is plenty appealing. The Knicks have the draft assets to swing a deal for the 2025 NBA All-Rookie second teamer, should they prefer trading for someone with pro experience already rather than gambling on a college unknown. So I'm going to be honest, I barely knew much about him. If you're telling me he's good, that's great to hear.
He is good.
And then the last one is Nick Richards, which is a name that I was looking at last season and even 2 years ago. But Nick Richards did not really have a fantastic year. He
Not at all.
averaged under 10 points, 8 rebounds in just 22 minutes a night a season ago. But again, didn't really have a great season last year. He was traded to the Bulls where he saw action in 20 games. He'll be a free agent. Will likely have to settle for a 1-year prove-it deal. So that's not really a surprise. Yeah, so that's really all they have. And then, of course, they have other names. A less premium center free agent market affects Knicks in multiple ways. The big man market isn't loaded with talent this summer. Vucevic and Yusuf Nurkic are two of the bigger names available. Sandro Mamukilishvili, who had a career year with Toronto, will be looking to get paid. So there are other options, right? Of course, our friend Tristan talked about Brook Lopez. You don't really love him with the Clippers, so that was funny. But those are some names they talk about if the Knicks don't re-sign Mitchell Robinson. But it seems like Yevis Missy is the biggest name for you.
Let me ask you a question. Let's say for some reason, Vucevic is on the table for us. How much would you pay for him a year?
Not a ton.
You know how
Not
much
a
he made
ton.
last year?
A lot.
21 million.
I know. A lot. I gotta tell you, not giving him that.
No.
No. I'm giving him somewhere between 10 to 15.
15, I go with 15.
Yeah. I'll give him 15 is my max. I'm not giving him anything more than that, not a dollar more. Well, I'm leaning more towards like 13, to be honest. Just because his defense is poor. And like you said, if he's on, great. But if he's not, just another liability on the court. Can't really have that, especially if you want to repeat as champions. So that's interesting. We'll move on with now the NBA draft. I mean, it's just 2 days. Dom doesn't have a lot on this. I mean, I have most of what we're going to say here. Obviously, there are top players in the top 10, but we're kind of keeping this more towards the lines of who the Knicks would draft. So I'll read this here, Dom, and then I'll get your feeling on all this. NBA draft is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and then Wednesday night 8 p.m. at the Barclays Center. Terrible venue. Knicks have the 24th overall pick and the 31st overall pick and the 55th overall pick. Some names that are getting projected for the Knicks to take: Taris Reed Jr., Zubi Ejiofor, St. John's product right over here, Henry Visar, Isaiah Evans, who's a guard, Joshua Jefferson, he's a forward, Karim Lopez, Ebuka Okori, Malik Thomas, and Jaden Quaintance. Those are the names that I have put down here. Now, for me personally, my preference, just because I think that Mitchell Robinson, I'm leaning towards what Dom said, which is a inevitable go. I would draft Henry Visar or Taris Reed Jr. at 24. Henry Visar is I'm going to be honest, from what I watched in his highlights, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Kind of looked like a Cat 2.0. I'm going to be honest with you. Can shoot the three. Go look at his March Madness highlights. 7 feet tall, can shoot the three, and can pass. And is pretty dominant below the rim on offense, kind of like what Cat was, especially the first 2 games in the finals. So that's a great option. I would be very happy if they draft him. I forget what his weight is. Obviously, the weight is not comparable to Cat. I would have to honestly look that up because I forget what his weight says here. He's 225 pounds. Now, Terrace Reed Jr., you could tack on another 40 pounds.
Yep.
This man's an absolute truck. And that's
He is
why Terrace
nuts.
Reed Jr., yeah, Terrace Reed Jr. was more projected to be a New York Knick in the 24th overall pick than Henry Visar. But I actually also have to look at his height as well. He's 6'11", so only an inch smaller, but 265 pounds. I mean, he is a big body,
He's a
and
unit.
yeah, he is, and that would be huge for the Knicks off the bench, especially if they don't have Mitch Robinson. And he actually has moves to get to the rim, unlike Robinson. He can rebound as well. He's physical, big body, and so I think it's one of those 2 guys. Now, if these guys fall off the board and they go lower, I would take Zuby Ejiofor out of St. John's or Jaden Quaintance at 31. I would love to get a guard at 31, but Dom, I just don't see Malik Thomas or Isaiah Evans falling that low. I just don't see it. After the Knicks pick 24th, between 25 to 30, I think those 2 guys will get picked. It'd be a miracle if one of those 2 miraculously don't get picked. Then absolutely, I'm going with a guard because the Knicks do need another ball handler. I think Tyler Kolek should get a lot of run next season, but you still want to get another guy in the case that Alvarado doesn't come back. So those are names that I'm going for. I would love to see Visar or Terrace Reed Jr. at 24. And then if Zuby Ejiofor or Jaden Quaintance fall to 31, or if one of those 2 guards, Malik Thomas or Isaiah Evans, fall to 31, I would take one of those 2 guys. And then 55th overall pick, just get the best available. That's really my case for that.
Terrace Reed, 35 games played, 27 minutes the average, 15 points, 61% from the field, 62% from free throw, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's pretty good, man.
That's, I mean, the free throws alone is already
Yeah,
enticing me because,
just the free throws alone.
I mean, the free throws alone. I want to look at Henry Visar's stats. So his season, he averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and his field goal percentage was 60.8. His free throw percentage, very curious to what that was. Let's see here. 3-point percentage, he was 42.6. Free throw percentage, 61.5.
Wow.
Yeah. So you really can't go wrong with either one. It's just that Terrace Reed Jr. is more physical and he's got more body mass. That's really what it comes down to.
Terrace Reed, he was in Michigan
Mm-hmm.
and then went to UConn for the transfer portal in 2024, following the firing of former coach Juwan Howard in a disastrous 8-24 season. Additionally, the arrival of new coach Dusty May and the recruitment of other 7-foot centers made it clear that Reed's role and developmental trajectory were no longer viable in Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy how circles have turned.
Yeah. Zuby Ejiofor. So he is 22. He's 6'9", 245 pounds. I mean, he was Big East Player of the Year this past season. He had a fantastic year. He averaged 16 points, a little over 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shot 53.6 from the field. Want to see what his free throw percentage is. I mean, free throw percentage, 71.8. I mean, that's pretty good. He's not a center. He's
Wow.
a power forward. 3-point percentage, not great. 30.5, but his field goal percentage was over 50. Average 2 blocks, really the same line as Henry Visar, but a little over 16 points a game. I mean, he had a great year. Big East Player of the Year, not a surprise. I'd be fine if they got Henry Visar or Terrace Reed and then Zuby Ejiofor if you fell to 31. I mean, that is great depth. In terms of getting, I don't really know what guards are available in free agency that the Knicks could pick up. I haven't looked at that. I'll look at that maybe again next week because when we record, that'll be June 29th going into upload day, which is June 30th for us. That'd be a Tuesday evening. And then the next day, free agency starts. So, I mean, I think the Knicks have the potential to have a fantastic draft. We'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes to starting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But those are names that I've looked at. Obviously, some of the other names I have listed here. I mean, Joshua Jefferson, that's kind of more of like a developmental product. I'm going to be honest. I don't need more developmental guys on this team. I want guys who are a little more developed that don't need as much work as, say, like an Ariel Huckporty or even a Mo Diawara. Mo Diawara has now been here for, 2-3 seasons now, so he's getting there. But guys like Terrace Reed Jr., Zuby Ejiofor, Henry Visar, even guards like Malik Thomas, Isaiah Evans, they're a little more developed. So those are what you should be looking for. But yeah, we'll see what happens, Dom. We'll see what happens with the draft and then, of course, free agency coming up. I just have one question for you, Dom, and we haven't really talked about it. Maybe we'll talk about it again next week. Where do you think Giannis is going to go?
See, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. Was when you were done talking. The thing is that both okay, so apparently before the draft, Sham said Giannis is either going to the Celtics or the Heat. But that might not be the case, right? But
Mm,
let's say it is. I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, I'm sure they would want Jalen Brown, right?
yes.
Because he's just, finals MVP and all that, great player, two-way player. But the Heat, they have a better package they can give him. In total, like in whole general package, the
Mm-hmm,
Heat have a better one.
mm-hmm,
It's pretty hard. But the reason why I wanted to bring up Giannis is not just because of his trade, but it's just because now every team in the East is going to do exactly what the Knicks did to the Celtics 2 years ago was we got to build a team to beat them. The Knicks built the team to beat the Celtics. And
right.
now there are going to be teams that are going to do their whole plan around beating the New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm,
So it's pretty hard right now. It's pretty, I mean, Giannis and Bam, Giannis and Tatum. Where's Khalil Ware? Is Khalil Ware? Is he going to be on the Heat still? Is he gone?
mm-hmm.
Tyler Hero, is
That's
he
true.
gone?
Oh, he will be gone. Tyler Harrell will
Yeah, no,
absolutely be
he'll
gone.
be gone. Yeah, but I'm
He'll be
saying
gone.
like where,
Mm-hmm,
but where, like
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm. Yeah.
it
I mean, that's
it's
the
gonna
other
be
thing
hard,
too, right?
and it
It's
might
going to
be a
be
3-team trade. It might not even be just
bingo.
two teams.
I was
So
just about to say that. It very well could be a 3-team trade. Was going to say exactly that. Now, Dom, it's. I was going to end it off with this, but it's funny you say that. What I was about to say before we hopped onto the MLB segment was okay. The Knicks, the way they played in their playoff run, they have to now bring that over to next season. However, everyone saw it, right? Unless you're living under a rock, you know how the Knicks played and how they won. Now, is it hard to defend that? Yes, it is. However, though, the Knicks still have room to grow and they need to develop. Like Mikal Bridges being more of a shot creator. Maybe having the offense not only run through Cat and JB, but maybe have it run through Mikal, have it run through OG. I honestly think Mikal and OG need to hit the gym with Jalen Brunson this summer. And they have to see how Jalen Brunson plays and try to take some tips and tricks from Jalen Brunson and add that to their offensive repertoire. Because if they can do that, I don't see how the Knicks don't repeat next year because you have now more weapons that now don't have to say, oh my God, it's under 5 minutes. Oh my God, here, JB, like hot potato. Here, take the ball. No, no, no. Now you have other guys who can now run the offense and they can dribble it up the court. That's what these guys need to work on this summer if they want to continue to grow. Because again, like I said, that's why I'm only mentioning the starting five, because they're locked up for next year. That's it. Yes, Cat extension. I think Cat will take the haircut. But at the end of the day, he takes the haircut or not, he's locked in for next season, and then he's got a player option the year after that. I don't see him not picking that up. It's a boatload of money. It's over $60 million. So they need to develop their play style and their talents this summer. Go hit the gym with Cat and JB. See what you got to do. I also think JB should work a little bit on defense. Same with Cat. They did play much better defense in the playoffs, which helped a lot, but I still think they have room to grow in that area. But that's why it's interesting that you just said teams are going to build their roster around beating the Knicks. Well, that's why I was going to end by saying the Knicks still have room to grow, and they need these guys in their starting five to continue to build on what they were doing in the playoffs for offense for their own respective talents for next season. Because teams are going to look to now try to break up that momentum of how they were playing in the playoff run. I mean, you want to win, don't you? That's what any team, any opposing team would do. They would try to look at how you played in that 16-3 playoff run, 16-3 playoff run record, and they're going to try to decipher how you did that, what you did, so that they can now beat you. So very convenient how you said that, because I was going to end the segment off with that statement.
And well, two things before we can go on here, but this sort of reminds me of deja vu, right? You know what happened last year? You know, we were all saying, could you imagine if we had Hartenstein back still? And now it's the same thing as this year. Let's say Robinson goes. Could you imagine if we had Robinson? It's sort of like the same thing. It's like, what if?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if Mitch stays, you know, we could be good. Same with last year. If Hartenstein stays, we're going to be good. And that's the thing. We just don't know. And Hartenstein took more money.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch might do the same thing.
Yep.
So we don't know. But
Yeah. No.
that's the one difficult thing. And also, we were lucky this year. Knock on wood. We better we just have to pray for no serious injuries for next year either.
True. Very true.
So, you know, winning a championship does come with luck.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
we got to also pray with that.
But I think
So
too that's where getting depth through the draft is important, because imagine the Knicks draft a Terrace Reed Jr. or a Henry Visar or a Zuby Ejiofor, and they keep Mitch. I mean, obviously, you're telling Ariel Hukporti to kick rocks. You're not bringing back Jeremy Sohan. You don't have to, right? So that would just be that'd be a winning summer. And then if you could somehow have Mitch Robinson, forget about a mid-range shot. I care more about the free throws, because you have enough offensive talent, and now you drafted these guys. I really don't give a shit if you don't have a mid-range shot. But again, it's hard to keep everybody. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'll be very intrigued with the draft. Obviously, everyone cares more about the draft if either you're in the lottery pool or you just won the championship. If you're in the middle tier, people don't really care. But if you win the championship or you're in the top 5 picks or even the top 10, you care a little more, especially if you have the first to third overall pick. But I'm excited to see how the draft goes tomorrow night. Really hope the Knicks do well. And I think with Leon Rose, I don't see them not doing well in the draft or being smart with their selection. So we'll see what happens. That's everything from me with the NBA and the Knicks. Tom, how about you?
yeah, we good.
All right. So now moving on with the MLB. And I know I had said this 3 weeks ago. We haven't talked about baseball in 3 weeks. It's been a while. But I said this 3 weeks ago. I'll say it again before Dom starts. I haven't been this checked out of an MLB season since like 2018, when me and Dom were freshmen going on sophomores in college. That's like 8 years ago. And honestly, from the little bit that I saw with the Mets, Dom, I could see why I'm checked out. The Knicks definitely helped with that. They were a big part of that. But now that the Knicks are done, it's tough for me to now have to go and transition back to a losing team. But Dom, you can go first with your Yanks, who look 10 times better than the Mets right now.
Yes, for sure. We have played some good baseball, but just with the Yankees in general, inconsistent, some still bad base running, still errors in the field. I guess that's just Yankees baseball now, but you know what? I'm not really going to try and get into how the Yankees actually have been for the past 2-3 weeks, because Craig Carton, Chris, I don't know if you saw this.
Mm.
Craig Carton is so dumb, yet he is so smart. No, hear me out here. Hear me out.
Hmm.
He got me. Craig Carton, he fooled me so good.
Oh boy.
I honestly, I respect it. But at the same time, you're an idiot. 5 days ago, he was on WFAN, and he said the lines of, Hal Steinbrenner should call James Dolan and thank him for taking the pressure off the Yankees to try and win a World Series this year. He said that 5 days ago. How long ago was the parade? What, on Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
4 days ago? He said that the day before the parade. Guess what? The parade is over. And for one day, he got me. He got me good. Now that the parade's over, and now that the weekend's over, new week, now everyone's back to focusing on baseball. Why would you say that in the first place? You want to know why? I wrote down my reasons why. Do people forget that Aaron Judge is 34 years old? Do people get that Garrett Cole is 35 years old? Do people forget that Stanton is 36 years old?
Stanton's
Rodon,
36.
36.
Wow.
Rodon is 33. You're thinking, all right, he's only 33. It's Carlos Rodon. I don't trust him one bit. I won't trust him with my life.
Mm-mm.
For him, 33 for him is 37 for a good baseball player. And other things too, right? Aaron Judge has been out. This isn't new. He's been out before for long periods of time, just like this. But do you know why there's even more pressure now than ever? Because of all the good that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Goldschmidt, batting 340 batting average, 980 OPS, 5 homers, 18 hits, 53 at-bats in only 2 weeks. He's been on a tear. Ben Rice, this season, 293 batting average, 22 home runs on the season. As of right now, he's a candidate for AL MVP. Cam Schlittler, last game against the Reds, 0 runs, 4 hits, 6 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts. He is second in the league in ERA and leading the AL with 1.71 ERA. Right now, he's the AL Cy Young winner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
if we're doing this good right now, I mean, we're not playing the greatest of teams, but if we're playing this good right now, what should the expectations be when Aaron Judge gets back? What should the expectations be when, I know I have to bring this guy up because how good he does in the playoffs. Giancarlo Stanton. What about that Garrett Cole is getting in the mix of things more? And also, did people forget about Max Fried? No one has said a word about Max Fried. Honestly, now, we have more pressure than ever because the Knicks won.
Yeah.
Craig Carton, you got me. For 24 hours, you got me so good because I was like, wow, you're so smart. Well, how didn't I think of that?
Uh,
Until this morning. I had like a whole thing written down in my notes. And then I don't know, maybe just because it's a new week, maybe my head's more clear, less hungover.
Very possible.
And then I was just scrolling, looking at like Twitter and Instagram about like Knicks videos and Yankees videos. I saw that video when they posted WFAN, and then I watched it again this morning. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He got me so good. We are now under more pressure than we've ever been. Hot take, maybe? I don't know. But
I,
I'm honestly, I couldn't believe what was happening in my brain this morning.
I honestly think there's a lot of pressure for the Yankees. Yes, granted, what Craig Carton said may have been stupid, may have been smart for those 24 hours. However you see that is just how you see that. That's your own viewpoint. I think the Yankees are in a lot of pressure just strictly because of the age that you just expressed for each player. I think it's because of Aaron Judge's age. Listen, Giancarlo Stanton has always had injury history. That's why I'll always go back to that contract that the Miami Marlins gave him. Once I heard that number and I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this team doing? I was like, this is the stupidest contract for 13 years. You're going to sign somebody for 13 years. Now, granted, you could say, well, look at Juan Soto. Well, right now, Juan Soto already has a ring. He had he hit record-setting numbers with the Mets, playoffs or not. He's still hitting fairly well this season, even though I have a negative thing to say about him in a little bit. But Giancarlo Stanton's age, 36, Aaron Judge, 34, Garrett Cole, 35, Rodon, 33. That's the pressure for the Yankees. It's now or never. That's really what it is. Now, they have young players, but the thing is, that Yankees front office doesn't know how to juggle that. They don't know when to bring guys up. They don't know when to keep them. They don't know when to send them down, i.e. Anthony Volpe. I mean, how many times are we going to get on that? So
They
the
have
Yankees have go ahead.
Jose Caballero playing left field
Don't get
so
that at
they
all.
don't hurt Anthony Volpe's feelings.
Don't understand that at all. That is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I don't understand why they're doing that. So glad you brought that up because I meant to bring that up to you the other day, and I just don't understand why they're doing that. And this is what I mean. It also is inflicted pressure on yourself because, again, the biggest things are the age of your stars and your top paid players on your roster, and then add it to them not being able to run the farm system properly and bring guys up and send guys down. And then some guys are just in flux. As you've already said, there are certain players that the Yankees have ruined, and it's just not right. But it's kind of like just inflicted wounds, inflicted pressure on themselves that the Yankees have done. So it's like now or never with them because of how they've handled the farm system, and now their best players are aging. I mean, the Yankees don't obviously they're going to make the playoffs. Is it win the division or the wild card? Well, we still got a lot of time until that decision is made or until that end result comes. But once they make the playoffs, I mean, the Yankees, it's got to be all go mode because they got to try to win a ring. It's very much self-inflicted wounds here with how they've operated the farm system and what the age is for their current stars and how much they're getting paid individually.
And with the Knicks, right? We said before the season, this has to be our year.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of who we have, was because of the injuries.
Yes.
To Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
the expectations before the Yankees started was not the World Series
Mm-mm.
because we're like, what the fuck? They ran it back. We're like, what? We need so much on this team, and you do nothing. So everyone was like, all right, we're not doing this year. We're not winning it. Now, future superstar Ben Rice shows up. Future superstar, I mean, you might even call him a superstar now, Cam Slittler.
Oh, he's getting real close to it.
He's close. Maybe he's right there. He comes along. I mean, clearly not me was expecting Garrett Cole to be this decent as soon as he got back. Aaron Judge was going to be Aaron Judge, right? But now he got hurt. But then people stepped up. 38-year-old Paul Goldschmidt stepped up. Ever since Jason Dominguez got back from the IL on the 13th, he's gotten a hit in every single game but one game. And he's only 23 years old. And guess what? He's doing good in the field. Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know.
Jazz Chisholm, dumbass, was focusing on 50 home runs, but now he's been doing good this past couple of weeks. And that brings me to my next point, because everyone knows how much I want this guy Jazz gone, because he's not getting nearly as much as what he's expecting, $30 million a year or some dumb shit like that, what he said. That's not happening. So I do have some two trade ideas that we could, or two players that we can get via trade. Number one, I mean, you may as well just give this guy a jersey, because every single MLB/New York beat reporter is saying Ryan Jeffers is going to be a New York Yankee. Catcher from the Twins. We need a righty bat. He can hit for power. But the problem is, he's been out on injury for a long time now due to a hamate bone fracture.
Yeah, I saw that.
In 122 at-bats, 295 batting average, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, 949 OPS. I mean, their numbers are good, right? But he's fucking Pudge Rodriguez compared to Austin Wells.
Of course.
From all the bullshit that we've seen in catcher this year, right? And plus, the Yankees were looking for another righty bat anyway, so that would fit us perfectly. And another player who I wish we got this past offseason, Luis Arias. You know what? Oh, he doesn't hit for power. He's a good second baseman, but we have Jazz. What happens to the Yankees every single fucking time in the playoffs? Every single player on the team wants to hit the ball 500 feet and not want to put the ball in play. Do you know who's one of the best guys to do that in the MLB? Luis Arias.
He's known for it.
That's what he's known for. He would be absolutely perfect for this team. Trade Jazz and someone else for Luis Arias. I don't care what the contract is. I don't care his age. We need to win now. That's the mentality. If you want to win now, go get those two guys and we'll be in way better position.
I think those are two good trade ideas. The Jeffers thing is unfortunate with his injury, but I watched him play against the Mets and he was just raking the ball. Now, of course, a lot of people are hitting the top off the ball against the Mets, but it's interesting that Luis Arias couldn't really get a great contract because he's just a singles hitter and he's more of a contact guy, obviously, than power. But I think he would fit perfectly with the Yankees, for sure. A left-handed bat, a guy that can get on base, great leadoff hitter. So I think those two ideas are great. I mean, will Jazz get traded in a month? For the Yankees' sake and for yours,
But
Dom, I
see,
hope so.
that's the thing. That's the only way it would work
I know.
for Luis. That's the only way.
That's the problem. So
That is the problem.
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, there's more time. He'll still be playing on the team. We'll see if he keeps on hitting and producing for the Yankees. I mean, that play in the field recently on his defense was just brutal. That ball up the middle, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, Jazz's defense sometimes it's eye-piercing to watch. But we'll see how it goes. Those are two great trade ideas, I think, and that would fit perfectly with the Yankees roster. But again, there's more time. There's more time for Jazz Chisholm to have his value go up, and maybe Jeffers, plays well, and that'll be more intriguing for the Yankees to go get him. But I do like those two trade ideas, and I'm sure there'll be more as the season progresses here that I'm sure you'll come up with, or that'll get rumored. But anything else you have to say regarding the Yankees before I start here? And my rant on the Mets is not going to be very long.
I think I said a lot. I think we're good.
All right. Regarding the Mets, as I have already said, we haven't talked about baseball in 3 weeks. The last time we talked about baseball was literally the first day of June. It was June 1st, a couple of days before the Knicks started the finals. Since then, shockingly, I thought the record was worse. It just feels like the Mets are just, I don't know, 8 plus 9 is 17. So I just feel like they're 0-17, or they're like, I don't know, 3-14. But the record so far this month is actually 8-9. I mean, it feels so much worse than that. But that's their record right now. The thing is Freddie Peralta, I guess, loved the Knicks so much he decided to replicate what they were doing in the finals, and he posted a triple-double the other night. 10 hits, 10 runs, 10 earned runs. I mean, just god-awful with what he was doing. I mean, it looked like he was throwing lollipops. Fastball Freddie looked like meatball Freddie out there with what he was throwing to the Phillies hitters. Oh, he only went 2 2/3 innings. And I got to tell you, this whole season, he's making me look like a real idiot. He's really made, I mean, I was vouching for this guy to come here, for the Mets to trade for him. I mean, he is really just taking a fat loogie and spitting it right in my face.
Hey, I wanted him on the Yankees too.
I know.
So.
I mean, what in the fuck is this guy doing? I mean, he looks dreadful. I mean, now, Dom, I don't even want to look at what his ERA is. It's got to be like over 6, maybe close to 7. It's got to be. He gave up 10 runs. They're all earned on Saturday. I mean, what in the hell? Freddie Peralta, let me just see his stat line.
4.83.
I'm shocked it's only that. I mean, it feels so much worse. But his last few starts, Philadelphia, 10 hits, 10 runs, 10 earned runs. Okay, Atlanta, he pitched well. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. But St. Louis, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs. Then Seattle, he pitched well, 1 run. Miami pitched pretty well. Didn't make 5 innings, but it's 2 earned runs. Miami, 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. Not great. But this guy, I mean, I've seen it so many times. The story of him is he goes 4 2/3 innings. There's 2 outs and nobody on, and then the door just goes caving in, and they just break the doors off. The hinges come right off. Or he goes 5 2. It's every time it's 4 2/3 or 5 2/3. And then there's 2 outs, nobody on. Somebody gets on, and then he starts falling apart. It's most of the time. But Freddie Peralta has been such a disappointment. But speaking of disappointment, and I'm going to give myself a gold star for today, I said before the season started, who was my disappointment pick of the season? David Peterson. And he just proved it once again yesterday. This guy has got to get off this damn team. He is garbage. I knew it from the second half of the season. Every batter is a full count. Same thing with Freddie Peralta. Really the same with every pitcher that the Mets have right now pitching for them. Almost every batter is full count. Every time. And I'm watching this guy pitch. He just doesn't look comfortable. He looks completely out of sync. I mean, David Peterson's numbers yesterday. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs, and gave up a homer. He only went 3. I mean, he's also most of the time coming out of the bullpen, but when he pitches, he looks terrible. 6 earned runs June 10th against St. Louis. May 26th against Cincinnati, 6 earned runs. April 29th against Washington, 7 earned runs. I mean, right now, this guy's ERA this year is a 6.09. Get the fuck off the team, pal. Get off the damn team. He's awful. He's not good. That's why he's my disappointment pick of the season. There was a reason. I knew he wasn't going to bounce back. Hip surgery, any surgery he got, it's not helping you, dude. It's not helping you. He looks terrible. The other thing that I want to mention, okay, Juan Soto's lack of effort. He grounds out and he's like practically walking to first base. I mean, if Carlos Mendoza, if he actually still had his balls and they weren't detached and thrown into a purse somewhere, maybe he'd actually take Juan Soto, sit him down and not play him for the rest of the game and tell him, dude, we're paying you all this money. Go fucking run to first base. Stop walking. Stop jogging. So that's not a good sign. I mean, so much for being a leader while Lindor is out. But I don't even see Lindor as much of a leader anymore. It looks like nobody is. That's not what leadership looks like. That's just not what leaders do. So not good effort from what I'm seeing recently. I don't care that you're hitting homers or you're getting hits. You still have to lead by example for the younger guys. And I'll talk about younger guys in a minute. Kodai Senga needs to be shipped back to Japan. I'll pay for some of the flight ticket. Just get out. Just get out of the country. You're always hurt. You came back. You didn't pitch well. Wow, shocker there. I knew that wasn't going to result in a win. Francisco Alvarez, not the future catcher. I've already talked about that weeks ago, but it just keeps on showing. He came back early. Looks like he maybe should have kept on doing his rehab. Maybe he came back too early. He doesn't look good. Francisco Lindor, honestly, he'll come back soon. Me personally, I don't think he's going to be ready. I don't think he's going to be ready to go. I don't think he's going to look good. Say what you want.
So either.
I don't think he's
motivated.
No. How can you be motivated? Your team sucks. They're under 500 for the month. They're now back to 9 games under 500. How in the world could you be motivated? Your team's 34-43. They don't look like they're going anywhere. Mark Vientos is another lost cause. And the only 2 guys that I would say that are good to go, that are still going to be here, not named Juan Soto. So really your whole outfield, Juan Soto, Carson Bench, and A.J. Ewing. That's really it. Other than that, after everything that I've seen this season, at least, I mean, for this month, the bits and pieces that I've seen and what I saw before the Knicks playoff run and the Knicks, finals run that they just had, with everything I've seen and everything that I've said here, I just think they should just blow it up. Just blow up the team. Because honestly, with all the money that you're paying, aside from your set outfield of Juan Soto, A.J. Ewing, and Carson Bench from left to right, I just think you should start getting rid of some guys. I don't even really care at this point if you get rid of Francisco Lindor. I don't really care if you get rid of Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty. Do it. Whatever. Because you know what? Paying all this money is not doing it. They look like crap. They're not going anywhere this year. What are you going to do? Turn around and get another high position player? The only guy that I would pay a boatload of money to is Tarek Skubal because he looks like an absolute dog. And he was chirping back at the White Sox the other day. Dom showed me that video actually while we were in the city during the Knicks parade. I thought that was hilarious. And that's really the only guy that I would put, my money where my mouth is. But anybody else, no shot. I think it's just time to build your farm system, trade almost everybody at the trade deadline, get what you can get for them. The high value guys, trade them for top prospects for you to build up your farm. And then whatever you can get for maybe bullpen pieces, pitching, whatever the case may be. But blow it the fuck up. Because whatever you got going right now, it ain't going to cut it, I can assure you. I don't care that it's only June 22nd. It's not going to get anything for you. It's just not going to do anything. So blow it up, build your farm system, call up young guys, whoever could possibly be ready, Ryan Clifford, whoever. I don't even care about a strikeout rate at this point. The later we're going to get in the season, the more losing we're going to see. If I'm miraculously, shockingly wrong, and they all of a sudden, I don't know, like the episode from SpongeBob SquarePants where the plug gets plugged in on Patrick Starr's brain, and all of a sudden he could do like the Pythagorean theorem. If that all of a sudden can just get figured out and that happens, okay, great. Keep people, I guess, and don't call up anyone. But I don't see that happening. So let's just blow it up and start trading guys. That's just my take. I mean, you remember, like they plugged it back in the episode, and all of a sudden Patrick Starr looked like a fucking genius. I mean, that's kind of where I'm seeing the Mets right now. You'd have to plug it in where they're living under a rock. You plug it in, and all of a sudden the cobwebs go away when the wheels are now turning, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, what happened to this guy? He now sounds like a genius. That's the only way the Mets are going to somehow figure it out. Like, that's it.
I'm laughing for two reasons. I'm laughing because of the Patrick Starr thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing too because I don't remember shit about showing you a fucking video about Tariq Skubal at the Knicks parade.
Oh, dude, yeah, you did. You literally, dude. We were drinking, and you took the video, and you go, look at this sicko, and it was Tariq Skubal just going off on the White Sox, and I was like, sign him. That's what I want in New York. Like, that's it right there. We need that attitude. That's what we need. It's like a Josh Hart, Jose Alvarado type in baseball form. I was like, that's what we need. I'm telling you, dude. It's like right now, I look
That's
at David
great.
Stearns like Patrick Starr. Someone's got to plug him back in so that he starts churning in his head and the cobwebs go away and he starts to figure it out. Because right now, that man looks fucking lost with how much money they've put towards players. Now, all of a sudden, Bo Bichette's going to sign out. He's going to opt out. Go ahead, dude. Opt out. Who in the fuck is giving you $42 million a year? Yeah, you've looked better, but dude, you're on a losing ball club, and honestly, your numbers aren't comparable to your salary. They're just not.
No.
I mean, I haven't looked at his numbers so much recently, but I know he's been playing better. But right now, what is he hitting? I mean, I got to look at his batting average. I mean, right now he's hitting, okay, close to 250, but a 292 on base percentage and a 367 slug. I mean, seriously? That's $42 million quality? I don't think so. So what is that? 292 plus 367. Hold on. Yeah, that's a 659 OPS. I mean, what are we talking about? I think Ryan Clifford in the minors has a better OPS than that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's everything I got to say.
I was waiting for this. I was waiting a month for you to say this.
Well, the Knicks
Yeah, I
were
know.
keeping me from it because I was just in such a pleasant mood watching them play. So I didn't feel the need to go off about the Mets. So,
You know, if anyone is like sort of judging us right now that, you know, we really weren't watching baseball, eat shit. Really. For some reason, if you're judging us for just focusing on the Knicks and not really paying attention to baseball as much, eat shit. All right. We haven't seen this ever in our lifetime. This is the first time we won in 53 years. That was one of the best days of my life on Thursday. So eat shit, all of you, if you have something to say about that.
the Mets lost 15-3 on Saturday. I saw the score. It was 3-0 with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. Do you really think I'm going to continue to watch that game? Somebody asked me recently, Dom, they said, have you been watching the Mets? I said, have I been playing with traffic on the Cross Island? Tell me, what's the answer? Go ahead, answer it. I'll give you the answer. It's a no. So, no, I haven't been watching the Mets because I actually like to be happy in my life. So I'm going to go watch the Knicks win the championship. Have I been watching the Mets? I mean, really? Come on. 15-3. They lost on Saturday. Okay? It looked like I had 2 Miller Lights in my hand as a father on a Sunday morning for Little League Baseball, watching my son's team get walloped 15-3. That's essentially what it was. Pee Wee football, Little League Baseball, whatever it is, just just beer of champions, whatever you want to call it, just standing there watching my poor son just getting mutilated by the other team, losing 15-3. It's literally how it felt watching that game. And it was only 3-0. I didn't continue watching it. You know, it's so interesting. I went to work the next day. Somebody goes, "You gave up 15 runs?" I go, "Who did? Not me." They said, "Oh, the Mets." I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, well, you know, I
Good morning
guess."
to me.
Yeah, good morning to me is right. Anyway, so that's everything with that. Dom, do you have anything else to say in the MLB section?
I give you credit, Craig Carton. I do. Still, I'm so shocked that you got me. You got me good. You really did. You know what? I'm not really. I was thinking about talking about Terry Schoolbowl. I not now. I wouldn't do it now because honestly, I think he'll be traded more near. If he were to get traded, I think it would be more near the deadline. I was thinking about talking more about that next week, and then I was going to try and come up with some packages because apparently the Yankees are going to try, but that's what I saw today on my phone this morning. So I just got to come up with some packages of who we can get rid of and stuff, and then I'll talk more about Tariq Schoolbowl next week. But
Great.
the
Very
thing
good.
is, he can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna every single team in the league is gonna try and get him.
Why wouldn't you? I would.
So
I would. But that is
hell,
the only guy the Mets should, take out a blank check for. Nobody
even
else.
even the Dodgers are gonna try. I'm sure.
Oh, it's the Dodgers. Why wouldn't they? Of
So
course. The only thing is, though, is that they'd have to get it done before December because CBA is expiring, and I'm sure they're going to rework the deferments, all those deferrals that the Dodgers were doing. So we'll see. See how it
yeah,
goes. All right. Well, that's everything with the MLB. We're not talking about the NFL. Honestly, probably not for a while, unless some serious news comes out regarding the Giants or the Jets are so big that it affects us worldwide, right? With the whole league of the NFL, unless it's so big that we have no choice but to talk about it. But all right, now we're gonna do take a seat. Let's predict. We're gonna start with the Yankees as usual. It's at Detroit against the Tigers for 3 games, and then at Boston against the Red Sox for 4. Dom, what is your prediction for the week?
I'm gonna say we go. I'm gonna say we go 1-2 against the Tigers,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna say that we go 3-1 against the Red Sox. The Red Sox are honestly just there are some hitters that are improving on that team, but they're just still not good enough at all. And I think we're gonna crush the Red Sox. But when it comes to the Tigers, they've been on and off this year. Some days they look great, some days they look like one of the worst teams in the league. So, but same with the Yankees. That's the funny thing.
Right.
So, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 4-3.
4-3. Okay. I'm looking at the Mets pitching matchups, right? You got Senga there. Wheeler's going Friday against the Phillies, then Senga has to pitch. All right, so honestly, I'm going
Wait,
to say
wait, wait,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
wait. Restricted free agent Mohamed Diawara intends to sign a multi-year, $10+ million deal to return to the New York Knicks.
That's good. That helps. All right, so that's good. That affects a little bit of the draft. Not a lot, but that affects a little bit of the draft. So that's good news because I think as Dom said last week, and it's in the reel. By the way, Dom, that reel is taken off. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
It's got 36,000 views. So
hmm
real good stuff. I'll probably be posting another off-season reel with our predictions. That's I think the smartest thing we could do. Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. I think he really needs to get minutes. We said it. Him and Kolek need to play next season. So $10+ million multi-year deal. I'm with that. We'll see how that affects then the draft, and maybe it affects Mitchell Robinson. We'll see. I'm just gonna give my prediction quick here for the Mets. I honestly think tonight's game against the Cubs just got postponed, so they're not playing tonight. And regarding the rest of the game against the Cubs, I say they win tomorrow because Nolan McLean pitches. I think he starts bouncing back a bit here. I think he'll obviously figure it out. So that's tomorrow night. And then I say they lose the next two, Wednesday and Thursday, and then they only win one against the Phillies. So I'm going to say, with the postponement, losing two of three, I say they go 2-4 on the week. I don't know. Let me see here. So that game got postponed. Did they say when the makeup is? No, it literally just happened. So don't know what the makeup is yet. I'm sure that'll come out once we finish the episode here. But a little bit going back to Diawara, yeah, that'll affect the draft a little bit, Dom. He's a power forward. He plays a little bit of center, but more power forward. Very curious to if they even have him listed as a center. Yeah, they have him more listed as a power forward. Yeah, only a power forward is how they list him. All right. Expect to sign a multi-year deal. Where did you see that, Dom? What was the account?
Shams on Twitter.
Shams on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, I think that's smart. He needs to play next year. I'm very excited for him. He is a fantastic talent, and he's got more room to grow. And so I think that's very smart. You got to start having young guys play for you. You can't it's kind of like the Mets too right now in baseball. You got to start using your farm system. You got to start using your young talent that you drafted. You can't always look to spend an exorbitant amount of money for players. You're going to now with how they structure it thanks to Kevin Durant and the Warriors with the second apron, which we didn't even really talk about in the episode. The second apron, you could do it for a year or two, but once you go to 3 to 5 years, it starts hurting your draft compensation. There's certain implications with the draft. And then, of course, you can't sign and trade. You can't pick up big names. It hurts you a lot. You could do it for a year or two, but once you reach that third year, it's a big, big problem, which right now the Clippers are in because they wanted to re-sign Kawhi Leonard, which I'm sure our friend Tristan already knows. So, it's a big deal with how they structured. Now, I even looked at the CBA. Dom, the owners and the players could end it a year early after the 28-29 season, but that's not expiring until 2029-2030. So that second apron stuff is still going to be going on for the next few years. So the Knicks have to be smart with how they do it. But yeah, that's great news, Dom. Glad you mentioned that. So that's a big deal to
Mm,
us, and it should be a big deal to most
Yeah.
Knicks fans.
Um, like I said last week, his potential, he could be a star in this league.
Hmm.
I'm very excited. You just gotta pray that they use him right and they develop him
Hmm.
well. He has so much talent, like you said. He can dribble, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can play defense. He could actually do it all.
So I
So
will say
I'm
one
I'm
thing.
I'm so I'm so excited to see him play next year with
So
the
am
with the
I.
Knicks.
I agree, and I'm sorry to cut you off there, but the one thing I will say though is, uh, he can be the second form of OG Anunoby if he works on his dribbling. His drive to the hoop and his dribbling is a little questionable right now, but so is OG's when he first came here. And his whole career, he's gotten a lot better with it. And I think those two need to train together this summer because they could both make each other better. And so I think Mo Diawara needs to work a little bit on his drive to the hoop and his dribbling because sometimes I see him shoot layups and it is ugly. And he needs to be a little better at that, but that's part of the developing tactic, though. That's part
Yep.
of development. So you just got to work together, him and OG. That would just be great teammate and team chemistry all in one. So it would go hand in hand, but that's a big deal. So that's everything with the predictions. And I guess the news on Mo Diawara that Dom just mentioned. Dom, episode wrap up. Go ahead.
I didn't say this earlier when we were talking about Mondani, right? And I know this isn't a political podcast, but the things that I've been hearing from just like people that I know and also just on the internet sort of pissing me off. This is not a political take at all. This is just my own opinion. How I was raised when I was younger, right, was you never ask anyone who you vote for and your opinion on the current mayor, president. You don't ask anyone about their opinions because it is their opinion and they voted for whoever they voted for.
Hmm.
Things have changed in the past. I don't know. You can argue it was maybe ever since Obama or Trump or whoever, right? But why are people so pissed off? Like, I don't know, right? People are pissed off at Mandani, right, for their political reasons. But these same people are huge Knicks fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they refuse to acknowledge how great of a speech that was. Just
I
because
don't
of your
know.
political view.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I just want to say, like, how brainwashed are some people that you just can't enjoy that amazing moment in New York Knicks / New York history.
Yeah.
And you're trying to ruin it for other people
Mm-hmm.
just because you're so butthurt about this guy.
Yeah.
Why can't you just enjoy shit? Why can't you
I,
just enjoy this moment?
I agree with you. It used to be easy for people to separate sports and politics. Not anymore. It's real sad. It's
It was
just,
pathetic.
yeah,
So pathetic.
yeah.
Get a
I
life. Really.
Listen, that's the thing. There are things that people are going to agree on and not agree on, but sports is sports, politics is politics. At the end of the day, it was a good speech. He tied in Knicks tape. He tied in all the older guys from years and years ago. I thought it was a very good speech. And I don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't separate sports from politics or vice versa. I don't I don't know, Dom. I don't have the answer to that, and it's unfortunate.
It, it, it was so, like, annoying hearing that on Friday. Hearing it
Mhm.
from people near, like, people just, like, talking to me about the Knicks. It's like, wow, that speech was great, but, fuck this guy, right? I mean, it's like, why can't you just say it was, like, one of the best speeches you ever heard in sports? When it
It,
comes to a parade / ceremony. Like, I don't give a fuck about your opinion on politics.
Mhm.
Just say that was an incredible speech. Well done. And then
Yeah.
walk the fuck away.
Yeah. If the topic is about sports, it should stay on the topic of sports. So the
I,
speech was not about politics. The speech was on sports. So just give your
exactly.
viewpoint about the speech of sports.
I
And that's
no
what
no one
Dallas
fucking
is
asked
doing.
you. Like,
No.
no one fucking asked you. Like,
No.
I yeah, all right. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Listen, I understand your annoyance, but listen, that's just how it is nowadays, unfortunately. And yeah, I hope that changes at some point. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. That's somewhat out of our control, individually. We can't control everybody. So it is what it is. For me, for my episode wrap up, this is going to be probably the most important offseason for the Knicks in a very long time. I would say probably since like Carmelo Anthony midseason trade, because we were wondering what the Knicks were going to do going into the following season when they traded for Carmelo. Yes, 2024 was important, but I don't think it was as big as, that season all the way back then. That was like 2011, 2012 type era. So this is going to be a very exciting, intriguing, important offseason and draft for the Knicks. That news about Mo Diawara was great. That was huge. So we'll see as we continue to go episode by episode here for the summer. But regarding the Mets, and I didn't say this during my rant, and I'll say it now, and I'll continue to say it until the following season, I guess, next year. This trade deadline for David Stearns, quietly and maybe low key, is one of the more important trade deadlines he's had in his whole entire executive career. And it's going to be very important for
Absolutely.
him because with how this team is playing and where they're at, your best option is to trade and get the best value you can get for everybody. And if you can't do that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. So now your best bet is to kill it at the trade deadline. You didn't do that last year. Yes, was it unfortunate that certain players didn't come to play? Yeah, you can't control that, but you left certain things on the table, and you just can't do that at this trade deadline with how you've basically royally fucked up the offseason. So this is going to be a very important trade deadline for David Stearns and the New York Mets. And I'll just leave
100%.
it at that. So that's my take on that. All right. Dom, anything else you got to say?
That the Yankees, I guess now you're in the same situation as the Knicks. Your time is right now.
Yes.
That's it. You know, like no one was thinking this a couple months ago, but the way things have been rolling, how we have two future superstars on this team now, plus our main superstar is not even playing. This is it. You got to do it now.
I agree. I second that statement. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning into today's episode of the FTB Podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.